ARC-170 Starfighters, or Aggressive Reconnaissance Starfighters, are one of the finest ships the Republic held in the Clone Wars, and these fighters took part in numerous campaigns against the CIS. But what is the history behind this supreme class of ship? Now, the ARC fighters were engineered by Income Corporation in partnership with Subpro and was made to be the successor to the highly successful Z-95 Starfighter. Now, this ship is considerably large for a fighter, measuring almost 13 meters long and a total wingspan of just under 20 meters. However, it should be mentioned, whilst not in use, the wings will be folded up to save space. Now, despite its size, this ship was very fast with a top atmospheric speed of 1,050 km per hour or 652 miles per hour, which is only slightly slower than the standard Vulture droid, which was a fraction of the size. Now, the huge twin engines on either side of the ship were paramount in giving it the speed that it needed. However, if we look at Star Wars Legends, it said that the deflector shields were interlocked with the engines, and this acted as a super cooling mechanism, and by doing this, it allowed the engines to work ridiculously harder, achieving speeds of around 44,000 km per hour or 27,000 miles per hour. Now, this is pretty sketchy information, as this is a lot faster than most things we see in the Star Wars universe, and when we look at the price of approximately 155,000 credits from new, realistically this isn't possible, so it could just be a rumour or possibly Republic propaganda. Now, these ships were filled with a vast array of tools and armaments, from a hyperdrive, sensor jammers and shielding to its weaponry, which consisted of two rather large and very powerful forward-mounted laser turrets, which could be slightly angled to make them more accurate, and could even punch through the heavier cruiser's armour. As well as this, two rear laser turrets able to hit targets both above and below the ship, and just to top it all off, 6 proton torpedoes. Now, with these vast capabilities meant unlike its predecessor, it required more crew. The pilot stationed in the front was in charge of manoeuvres, whilst the co-pilot stationed behind him controlled the larger laser cannons and the torpedoes, and the rear gunner was to ward off any attackers from behind. ARC pilots were trained from early on in their lives and spent countless hours in flight simulators. As well as this, the ship was fitted with an R2 unit, which was paramount in ensuring that the complex systems on board ran properly and any repairs were quickly made whilst on the move. ARC fighters were most commonly deployed into battle from a Vector-class cruiser, which normally held around 32 of these ships. They were mostly used for deep space combat, however they were also commonplace to escort less nimble ships such as Y-Wings and gunships to their target destinations. The ARC fighters, similarly to the Vector cruisers, were used well into the age of the Empire, with new ships even being engineered in this time, before they were taken over by the TIE line. During this period, however, the colour scheme and decals were changed to match the design of the Imperial regime. However, the Rebel Alliance did at some point come into possession of a small number of these ships. However, after the innovation of the X-Wing, which IMCOM secretly sold to the Rebellion, the ARC fighters were no longer the starships that they once were, and they eventually became not very commonplace in the galaxy and prized as antiques, one of which came into possession by a future Queen of Naboo. But what do you think of ARC fighters? Thanks for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this little lore video. There is going to be a lot more coming soon. I do apologise for the quite little amount that I've been releasing recently. I've been ridiculously busy. But I do hope that you enjoyed, and if so, please do remember to like, share and sub, as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also, don't forget to tick the bell for updates on when I release new content, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at @TheLoreGuy for regular updates. Thanks again for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed and learned something new, and I'll see you next time.